amiable Dr. Qusay here, and he's got some of his cuneiform writing for us to have a look at, inspect, and understand what cuneiform writing is all about. Let's welcome Dr. Qusay with a round of applause. While we are inspecting the tablets we've got, the cuneiform writings, I would like to continue with my conversation with Dr. Qusay. Dr. Qusay, how can Australia benefit from the study of ancient civilization?
Yeah, good question. Good evening for everyone at the beginning. And I'm happy to be here with very interested people. Look, there is a very famous saying for Romanian philosophy and doctor of medicine. His name is Ciceron. He was born in Romania in the 1st century. He said, if you need to understand how can I develop your life, you need to know about where are you born, and you need to understand what happened before you was born and before you grow up. So if you understand what happened in the past and ancient history, so you can understand the present and you can build your future as well. Is very good. This is why we need to understand how the people lived before we was born.
Thank you. Has archaeology, the study of archaeology, study of ancient civilization, has it evolved fully here in Australia?
Yeah, I can say that archaeology in Australia is very developed, because I went to many countries and I teach in many universities in the world, in Arabian, North Africa, also in Paris, and then other place in Kurdistan, in Turkey. The archaeology here in Australia is developed. But in my mind, because I have 22 years in this field, archaeology, especially with writing and language, I understand the history and the ancient history here in Australia start maybe before 65,000 years ago. This is the indigenous civilization. But I think we have a gap between the first mans live here in Australia, and then at the 19th or 18th century. So between this gap, it's very important to need to understand what happened. So in my mind, because I can read and translate ancient language, because before 6,000 years ago, I can imagine how the people, indigenous people here in Australia, talking, have communities, have a relationship between us, and we never had or add writings. So this is it's not logic. When I ask my colleague here and my friends, Australian, especially in university, they say the indigenous just have spoken. There is no writings. I don't believe that, because all writing in the world, when they start to build civilization, by the way, the civilization is not mean that develop or something machine or something. Everything in the world in the past is civilization. You when you made your shoes, when you made your house, when you made your tools, this is civilization. So impossible without writings, without sign, without anything for Australian, indigenous Australian language and writing. So this is my goal. I would like to study, because I know the first civilization in the world is Sumerian, is in the end of 4th millennium BC. So in the beginning, the people there live the same, I think, how the indigenous in Australia live. I excavate before in Kurdistan, North Mesopotamia, and we found like her family in cave. The same history for the indigenous people in the cave before 65,000 years ago. But step by step, we understand how the people develop and they manage life and then go step by step to build civilization. But why here there's no studies about this develop? This is, I would like maybe one day, if I allowed to stay here in Australia, to study about this point. It's very important to understand what happened before 65,000 years ago until 18th century.
Thank you for enumerating. Thank you for enumerating further on that.
Yeah.
So my next question is language barrier a problem for people transitioning from the Middle East to Australia?
Oh yeah, I'm a good model for that. Look, when I ask me about this question, I can advise some people, if you like to come here in Australia, you need to come here when you are young. Not like me, I'm old now. But because I have 5 languages in my brain, I can speak 5 languages, and with 5 dead languages. Dead languages mean this ancient language. Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian, Assyrian, Aramic. So all this is dead language. I can read and translate. And I speak 5 languages here in Arabic, Turkish, Kurdish, English, and French as well. So now when I came here, all my background in primary school, secondary school, and high school, and the university, we never study English. Just because maybe 2 hours a week. But when I came here, I would like to improve my English language. But I would like to thank the immigrants here and all communities and association here. They push people come from Middle East and everywhere to study English, and they give them a free hours to study English. That's very good. But for me, I think the people here, they need to focus what exactly they need to understand in English. No grammar, no, just learn to how to speak, how to enjoy life. So I went to the, I don't need to say what university here in Perth, but I studied 6 month English academic course. Half of these studies just look at the grammar. I'm not need to be a writer. I need to know how can I speak and what understand when the people speak with me. So if I make mistake in a grammar, it's not big mistake. So just I need to have a good conversation with people. This is what's important for me. So this is my advice for people to come here in Australia overseas to study English.
So how can the people in power help in ensuring this language gap is bridged?
Oh, this is good question. I think more successful program to look after the people come from outside Australia here, because I know TAFE teach and many association here look at the refugee, look at the people to study. But I think just try to give them a program for easy English language. So I know in books and in articles you can study English, but not like Australian slang. I had a funny story about when I learned in English. I can share one of these with you. It's very funny. When I came here, I worked with the CARAT organization. It's very important organization here. And then I try to show some volunteer work because I'm a good cooking. I try to teach Australian guys. It's very young, 3 young, 2 girl and 1 boy, and I told him how to make some Middle East food like pate. And I told them you need to put this and this and this, and then do this and this and this, and then when I finish and they look after them, they make training for them. And one of this guy, when I explained to him not to do this, and he said to me, cheese. And I went to the fridge and I opened the fridge and then bring the cheese and I give him the cheese. He said, why you give me cheese? I thought, we said cheese. I think he need cheese to put in the meal. So cheese in Israeli it means thank you. So this cheese. Cheese. I think he said cheese. You need cheese to put in the meal. So cheese means thank you. Yes. I never hear about this word. No one told me about this. So this is why. So you need to just when you need to learn English, try to put a simple program in English language. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Qusay.
Yeah.
What is it about Australia that fascinates you the most? What is it about Australia that really captivated your attention?
Yeah, look, I have surprised when I came here in Australia. It's amazing, amazing weather, but better than the weather, the people. I find maybe I'm lucky because when I talk with my friends and my neighbors here in Australia, I tell them I'm lucky because all people here is friendly and helpful. You say, no, don't say that, because maybe you are lucky because you never have any relationship with someone is strong or say no. I believe all people here is helpful and friendly, and this is what happened with me. All people I met them is friendly and helpful because maybe 90% for people here in Australia come from overseas, from outside Australia. So I'm happy with the multicultural here from Europe, from East Europe, from North Europe, from Middle East, from Asia, from everywhere. Sometimes when I have help and I have a good time with the Australian people here, I remember I live in Middle East. I live in Iraq. We have same religion, we have same language, we have same ethnic, we have same race, but everyone not happy with other. For me, 3 times I'm lucky because I'm not die, because 3 times the militia tried to kill me. And this militia is from same my language, same my religion, and same my race. So why this happened? But here in Australia, you can see the black skinny, white skinny, taller, this multicultural community here. I am so happy here with those people and with the laws. The very important word I want to say here in Australia, law. So all people respect the law, and I am as well.
Thank you. So, what are the problems inundating the Mesopotamian community here in Australia? I mean, the problems affecting people from Iraq, Persia, Saudi Arabia, from that region, Middle East. What are the most pertinent problems they are facing here in Australia?
Yeah, when I came here in Perth, I decided to open a culture center, and I'm happy because I'm a president for this culture center, Mesopotamian Culture Center, and I try to invite many people come from Middle East. This is why I call this community Mesopotamian, because Mesopotamian, the ancient word, mean all Middle East. So Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Arabian Gulf, Turkey, Egypt, all these places in the Middle East, you can call it Mesopotamia. The problem for those people here, those mind outside Australia and the body here. And sometimes I talk with the parents. There are a different life now between the parents and the children. And there are many parents ask me and ask to help them because I have good connect and I have good relationship with all community here. Because I understand, because I visit many country in Europe, and I understand how the Europe think and how to make life better. And then the parents said, we need to do that, we need to do that. And then I told them, since why you came here in Australia? Look, you need to be here in your mind and in your heart and your body. Not just your body walk here in Australia and your brain outside Australia. So if you want to enjoy life here is very good, and the government support you, and they give you everything, and all studies here is free, and the medicine is free, and everything is free. So you need to just be, and you need to realize why the life here is good, because the government and the people as well look after you. So this is what happened, because I think when I said in the beginning, some people you need to understand when he decided to be here, so you need to be here. No, look at the background where you are. This is what I can do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any way in which the city council, the government parastatals, can step in and be more consistent in assisting people from Mesopotamian background?
Yeah, there's many community and assessment here in Perth. Actually, the Arab Association, I think, and they have a good contact with the government and with the city council, and they have events and they have a festival. You know, in Arab countries, we have two big festival in the year. They call it Eid Adha and Eid Ramadan for fasting, and I think the city council look after those people very well, and sometimes I enjoy this festival with them. But the very important point of the city council, how to look after those people, they give them choice to be to enjoy life with a community here, not just try to let them stay. For example, I talk about the girls. The girls here, I respect hijab, and I know what the meaning of hijab, or the woman without hijab or with hijab. This is not in our topic now. But you need to tell them, if you wear something like hijab or something, that don't mean you need to do something. It's not in your mind, because in our religion, in all Middle East, the gods look at the heart, not look at what you look like. This is what I understand. This is in my philosophy, and all people believe in God, what they have. So I need to be so frankly with you, and here in Australia, there is something. I don't know how to describe this point, but something that's you can find it when you enjoy your time with those people. But I think at the future, because now it's the parents live, maybe grandfather and mother still, but I am so optimistic for the young people come here from Middle East, because they enjoy life here in Australia and they understand everything. And I am happy. Before 3 weeks ago, guys from Australia engaged with a Arab woman, and they have problem between them, but I have them, so everything is done as well. I'm happy for that. I think maybe after 10 years, 20 years, everything will be good, and the Arab people and the people come from Middle East, they enjoy life here like as Australian, as any people come here before maybe 20 years or 50 years, as Mr. Franco before.
So what you're saying in essence is that you're content and satisfied with the support the city council and the government is giving to the Mesopotamian community.
Yeah, for me, I refuse to accept any support from government. Because when I opened this culture center, I said to my membership, look, there are many things in many association here, and assessment. They said many people, a group of people, just open culture center and then they need support. I told them I don't need support. We have a doctor's medicine here. We have engineering. We have many people have a good job and a good salary. We can ask them to help and support our communities, because I made 4 events. It's so amazing event, and the 2 channel come from Sydney to record and to manage filming for this event. And I manage the last event about the poetry, Australian English poetry and Arab poetry mixed together in Mirabuka. And then we no need to ask for support, because you need to put a 10 line after support, because I can understand if I make support from government and then I need to explain about everything. Where is this money go on, and who is take this money, and when I support. But if you come as a volunteer and you pay to support your community, you feel it's very happy to do that. Not just because I think the support and the money need to go to other things in Australia, not for me, because I am interested to work as a volunteer. So why I ask to take money?
Okay, yeah, the government is supporting everyone in various ways, like with healthcare, with education, with social security. So we should understand that that's a support from the government. So I have to go back to one of your notions, say Egypt is part of the Middle East. When the last time I checked my map, the World Atlas, I figured out that Egypt is in Africa, and it has no connection with Middle East. And there's a huge civilization in Egypt that superseded all other civilization, as we can see with the Great Pyramid of Khufu. There is none of such in the Tigris and the Euphrates, and there is something similar to that in South America with the Inca civilization, and but there is none of such in Mesopotamia. But when we look at the Sumerian text, it's talked about the Epic of Gilgamesh, and it also said some things about Nebuchadnezzar, who developed Babylon. Is it called the Flying Garden or something? But what is the relevance of all of these in ancient civilization?
It's cool. You have a good information, by the way, about the Middle East civilization. Look, there are a famous saying that you can find it in a Homerus and Herodotus writings, the book for Historia, in the Greek civilization. He said the civilization start from Oriental. Oriental in the ancient writers and the ancient books from Greek and from as well from Romanian, it's Mesopotamia, because the civilization start beside and around the rivers. The first country in the Middle East have two rivers. It's Mesopotamia. You call it now modern in Iraq. So Tigris and the Euphrates. So the Mesopotamian civilization, it's around the rivers and between the rivers.
We also got a river called the River Nile. Which is on the Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, which used to be called Kemet.
Yes, this is what I said. So two rivers in Mesopotamia and one river in Egypt. So the civilization around and the many cities in around and beside the Tigris and Euphrates is more than in Egypt, because one rivers you can imagine. And the geography for Egyptian civilization is around beside the Nile rivers is a desert. There is no life, and the north is the Mediterranean Sea, and in the west the Red Sea. So the life here is very difficult. So there's no contact between others. Just and right. It's a very, very important point for the who is began in civilization. I can not because I'm from Mesopotamia, but the evidence from the archaeology evidence and the writing exactly, they show us the civilization start in Mesopotamia. Before 2 minutes ago, we talked about the laws. So the first law in the world in Mesopotamia, in the period of Hammurabi in 1992 and 1995 BC. before Christ. The one of amazing law. This is for Hammurabi. The law in 1928, because Hammurabi have 228 law. So one of these, this one, I can read and translate. Look what is the amazing information and a law in this tablet. This copy of tablet. So, and the first, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line, and every line have a sign, and I try to translate if you have time.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
You got time.
Yeah. So at the beginning they say, if in Babylonian language shumma. I will read in Babylonian language and then I translate in English. So shumma awilum ikhuzma ashatam riksa tisha la ushkun la ukhuzma. So I will translate. So shumma, this is if. The law start with if, mean like that's the law. If. So we need to answer what the if. If the man. So shumma awilum. If a man tried to marry or had relationship with any woman. So this relationship we need to be serious. Don't be a joke with the feeling of woman. Don't broke heart for women. Woman is very important. So look, man, you need to be serious and you need to write contract before you marry, or no. And there is other laws. You know, there's other laws in Hammurabi law. They say, yeah, many things. I don't know why everything is changed now in Middle East. You know, in Hammurabi law, you need to marry only one time in the world. You cannot marry a second or third. Just only one woman. Never married second woman. But now you know some people there married 2 or 3 or 4. This is what I don't know what happened. The one of these laws, they said, if the laws allow the man and woman marry again, 3 conditions. The first condition, if the woman cannot give a boy, I mean it cannot bring it. So maybe this one. And the second thing, if the woman have a sick and illness, it never have be good, maybe at the end of life. And the third condition, if this woman it's not happy with this man. So by the way, in Babylonian civilization and Mesopotamian civilization, the woman can divorce the man, not the man can divorce the woman. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, and the woman, if she felt that the man is not good, and this is a law in a 97 law. They said if the man go outside every night and don't look at the feeling for woman and don't look at the child and not support the child and not support the wife go to the judge and they said my husband is not good. It's every day. Go outside with the friends and never look at me and never look at the children, and the judge give her permission to say you need to go to your parents because the home and everything for the husband buy and give to the wife need to stay with the wife, not to. So now in the Middle East, when some family and some husband tried to make a divorce with the woman and they said, "Yay, go to your parents' home," and the man stay in home, and this is never happened before. It's against what I talk about that. So this is why I say Mesopotamian. So by the way, in Egypt we cannot find the law. There is no law in Egypt civilization. No laws.
I'll leave that conversation for another time because according to my research, there are heaps of law laid down by Pharaoh Khufu, by Akhenaten, by Imhotep, and by the father of medicine. So I'll leave that for another day.
Yeah.
So I want us to understand that we've got few people who can decipher the Sumerian text, and we are lucky here in Australia to have Dr. Qusay living here in Australia with us. So let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah, you can take it. Yeah, no worries.
So, at this juncture, we've come to the end of this episode of Community Talks. And I hope you all have enjoyed yourself and you've learned a little bit of something from Mr. Franco, Ms. Carito, and Dr. Qusay. So I want you to have a wonderful and splendid evening. Thank you.
You don't hypnotize me, oh. Baby, I can't lie when you do the thing you do. You make my body sweet, oh. When you whine it, you sabi whine it. Baby, you don't just me. This your body, no be smart thing. Baby, you know me like it.